Folks, welcome back to episode 8 of the Mobcast. Super excited for today's episode. We got Reggie Stubblefield on, the sauce boss, probably my favorite defensive player of the Kleiman era. Reggie, thanks for taking time out to chat up with us, man.
Hey, thank you guys. Really appreciate it for being on here. Ready to get started.
Yes, sir. For folks you don't know, unless you're living under a rock, Reggie played DB for us in 2021 and was part of that team that won the Texas Bowl, whooped the shit out of LSU. Uh, I think it's always a fun topic to start with. Reggie, kind of a breakdown of that game, just complete domination on all sides of the ball, but especially defensively. What was that LSU game like?
Uh, for me, that LSU game was really, really fun. It was another opportunity during that season to go back to Texas and actually play closer to home where I graduated from my previous college at Prairie View. So I had a lot of friends, family show out to that game. And then just the opportunity to go against an SEC opponent and somebody like LSU where no matter what went on during that game as far as guys that was opting out or who are we going to play against at quarterback, you're going to get a team who has talent from their freshman all the way down to their senior, super senior. So to go out there and put on a dominant performance and to go out with that senior class with guys like Skyler and guys like Noah Johnson and Cody Fletcher, Russ Yeast. Man, that was something special. And then just to do it the way we did it, blowing LSU out and put on a great showing in front of our fans and actually winning a bowl game against an LSU team. So, man, it was fun. The experience was one of a lifetime. I'll never forget it, honestly. And it was just super special to cap off a really good year, especially coming off the year that K State had before that when it was a tough COVID year and everything that was going on. So, just to finish that year with the way we did it, winning a game in the NFL stadium, the Texans, and how we started off the year winning in AT&T Stadium. That was just special. We couldn't write a better story. So, man, what an experience.
Yeah, man, against a team that's, known as DBU as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, you that whole year was kind of the precursor to of where we are now with Big 12 title last year. Like it seemed like that year was like the foundation, especially coming off like a tough COVID year where everything was. I mean, that had to be a weird year for a player, right? That COVID year. I know you weren't at K State yet, but
Yeah, it was definitely weird, and that whole year was tough for me because unlike FBS schools and the Big 12, they got to play in the fall where my season was pushed to the spring. So I've actually played two football seasons in 1 year. It was crazy, man. Yeah. So to just understand the up and downs and the difficulty of a season that K State had during COVID, and
mhm.
just to turn it around and lay the foundation for where the school is at now. A lot of coaches talk about our senior class and really just give us our flowers and let us know how proud they are for us doing the way we did it and just laying the blueprint for guys to follow. And it's actually been shown, you know what I mean, to win the Big 12 the next year and doing the things that they're doing this year. It's perfect. It's what you want as a guy who know you have guys looking up to you and want to lay a foundation like that.
Speaking of that senior class and the flowers, probably one of my favorite moments all year was that moment you and Kleiman shared. It really that was I think everyone was pretty emotional on that senior day. But what does Coach Kleiman mean to you?
It means a lot because he really, really showed me and just gave me so much information and just so much like skills and ideas of just learning how to be detailed oriented about your work and really, really working hard consistently. It was something that I'm very used to. Blue collar guy, work very hard, but climbing, man, he was next level with just his detail, his scouting, his information, and just being consistent in the things that he wants within his program. He's not gonna go get guys that don't fit and mold in well with other guys around the team and the staff. So just learning how consistent he was with how he ran things in the program and just his belief in what he believes in his system and his scheme. He means a lot to me. It gave me an opportunity when a lot of Big 12 schools probably didn't want to and was kind of like being indecisive about wanting me to bring him, wanted to bring me to their school. So man, he changed my life for real. He gave me the opportunity to play on a big stage, big level, and just to showcase my skills and who I am as a person and what I bring to the game of football.
Speaking of, what you brought, it seems like ever since for since Kansas State, you've been overlooked, and now this year with the Montreal Alouettes, you're really, I mean, shit, you're the favorite for Rookie of the Year. Like, is this chip on your shoulder? Is it only grown ever since leaving Kansas State?
Uh, I think it's always there because for me, it's just having an underdog mentality and knowing that there's always a level that I can get better at and reach. But it's just I don't know the belief in myself and just knowing what I can get and the goals that I want to reach. I've set really really high standards for myself. So for me to come into CFL, my first official pro season, and do the things that I'm doing this year, it means a lot. And there's obviously some things that I'm still working on and working towards.
Reggie, you played all over the field this year, and I mean, like Eric said, you've been tearing it up. I was just curious. I've always loved watching Canadian football. First of all, what's the adjustment to having 12 men on the field, and then as a defensive back, how big of a pain in the ass is it to prepare for wide receivers that get that forward motion?
Yeah, see, yeah, spot on. It was definitely a transition. 12 guys on the field, so the details in coverage, the details in scheme, run fits, and all that, it gets a lot more complex.
Mm-hmm.
The field is actually wider too, so whereas you can be a boundary safety, strong safety, boundary corner, and you think the field's tight, well, it's equivalent to a field side in a regular football field back at home. So many things about the game. So many things are so different that it takes reps. It takes really being detail oriented and being a pro. You're gonna have to adjust to the game quick, or you're gonna get sent home.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, man, that waggle that was a work in progress for a while, but uh, I just kept working, put my head down. Something I learned at K State, and just keep getting better with reps over time. And man, now I'm killing it. I think I got it down packed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. I mean, it sounds like it sound. I mean, mentioning the fact that Kleiman and the coaching staff are so detail oriented, it sounds like that. Um, really helped you going to a league that plays on a slightly different size field and has different rules.
Hmm.
So just being able to adjust quickly. Um,
Yeah, that is very true because that was basically my time, my how my story at K State begun. I didn't get to be with the team honestly in spring football. I didn't get to be with them in summer workouts. I had to get there literally almost during camp and transition quick. So it was a whole lot of hours extra in the office with Coach Klinderman and Coach Malone, Coach Kleinman, and it's something I always been used to. So no problem.
So you guys have played the Blue Bombers a couple times this year. Have you had a chance to talk with Shone at all?
Yes, we actually talk a lot. He actually talked to me when I had got released from Montreal after the final cuts of preseason, and I was about to go up there. Crazy thing is, I was about to sign with the Blue Bombers, but Montreal called, and I decided to sign back with them. But we've been talking a lot throughout the year. I actually only got to face him the second time we played them, and it was a good matchup. He did some pretty good things. I did some pretty good things that game, and it just means a lot to be able to have that relationship that comes from K State and following in his footsteps because he won the CFL Rookie of the Year last year, and with me having the opportunity to win it this year, that's pretty big. So our friendship is good. We're wishing the best for each other. We actually just messaged each other today, wishing each other the best in the playoffs coming up. So yeah, it's a good relationship.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I'm hoping to see some little back to back rookie of the year action. That'd be big time.
Yeah, I think that'll be next level and probably something that's never been done in any type of pro league for Kansas State football team players. So
Yeah,
that's crazy.
yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at your stats right now, man. It's 3 sacks, 2 picks, a forced fumble. Something we talked before we hopped on. Played 3 different positions, but you said basically four. Prepping for 12 people on the field is. I mean, your immediate impact on this pro team is ridiculous, dude. 37
Yeah,
tackles. Holy shit.
and that's wrong. And like, people always like want to talk about stats. I be like, they missing stats. That's what be killing me. But it's cool. That's just something that gets out of me as a player, as a competitive, that competitive spirit. And you be like, can they just get my stats right for once?
What are
Yeah,
they messing up?
probably. I don't know if you can see pass breakups in there. I
Yeah,
know I'm
there I
like
couldn't
10
find a
tackles
single
off.
deflection anywhere.
Yeah, see, it's kind of weird because some websites count them, some don't, but it's all good, man. It is what it is. I think the film's gonna speak for itself, like it always does.
What would you say your plan is? I'm going out on a limb here, and I think you're going to win Rookie of the Year. Are you looking to stay in the CFL, or would you like to try your hand back at the NFL now that you got
Yeah,
some pretty severe tape?
yeah. So it is always good to get tape in a pro league and do it now instead of just waiting at home on like at the own couch waiting for a call. But this has always been the plan. Since I was banged up coming out of some camps like with the Chiefs and the Vikings, I had to get back healthy and hopefully take the back road again to kind of get my shot in the league. So that's definitely the plan to see how things play out towards the end of the year. But right now, my main focus is winning this Grey Cup for my team. So we'll focus on that on those when that time comes.
Heck yeah, Reggie. One thing that I was going to ask you about too, being up there. Montreal is a French-speaking city, correct?
Yes,
Are you picking up on any French, man?
oui.
What
Yeah,
But seriously, like, how big of a like is that like kind of like a barrier? Is that sort of tough in your everyday life, or kind of adjusting to it, or
yeah. Every day by day, I'm adjusting to it. It honestly is to me one of the hardest languages to learn, and
uh huh?
also because I'm in the province of Quebec, there's different type of slangs and languages that they use, different from other people out here. So it's all French, but they have their type of styles, and it's kind of crazy. So uh, I'm learning though, man. It's been fun. It's interesting. It's something I never expected was gonna happen in my life, but it's fun. You know, it's good to actually learn a few words. And growing up where my neighborhood spoke a whole lot of Spanish, it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
fun. Just kind of step out of my boundaries again and just learn another language. And French is crazy,
That's awesome.
I what's the fan ecosystem like down there? Are they pretty crazy?
man. So it is true about Canada. They're crazy about their hockey. But I was very, very surprised about how much they love the Canadian Football League. Everywhere you go, the stands for the most part are packed out. They support their home teams a lot. You won't see so much people walking around in like the Chiefs gear, or if they was from Texas, like the Cowboys gear. But you
Yeah.
can see that it's continually like on the rise. Like I mean, I think that's what happens with success. No matter what, you know, you win, people are going to support you or want to be around you. So we've been having a really good year, and it's been a great turnout. I think last game, after the game, I signed autographs for like an hour. It was like one of my first times, but that's crazy. So just like the support that we get from the fans, man, it's really good.
So I'm curious to get like a K State, a former K State player's kind of viewpoint on this. As someone who's been a K State fan for a long
Hmm.
time, I've always heard and always just believed that K State fans are just kind of a different breed when it comes to college football. Um, is that something you've experienced in your time at K State and beyond?
Yeah, that's very true. Uh, I always seen it as a kid growing up. I remember Colin Klein and a little bit of Tyler Lockett days, and just seeing how like supportive and how just disciplined and how it just looked so much like a family environment. And they were literally playing for their college and their team and not themselves. So now just to continue to see it as alumni and see how much the fans continue to support the team through the highs and the lows, or how much passion they take into, those games. Like you think the fans are the players too. So
Yeah.
for real, man, and it's very true. I think K State is probably like top five, top 10 when it comes to their fan base.
I know we asked you this earlier, but I wanted to give you an opportunity to answer this while we're recording as well. Who's your current favorite defensive player on K State?
Yeah. So, all right, favorite. Okay, so I didn't know if you said
Who,
favorite last
who?
time. Because
Let me
favorite, it's a lot of them. All right, they got a really good deep. Well, they got really good
rephrase it.
offense, really good defense. They just good team all around. But yeah, you say rephrase. As far as the guy that I watched the most is definitely Dez. Just with the year that he's having, him still being a young guy, and I remember his days when he first came in, and now he's playing the same position that I am as well. Just to see like some of the things that he's just picked up and learned, and the way he's just playing, man, is exceptional. So I watch him almost every snap, every game, and I'm proud of him.
I'm gonna go back just a little bit.
Mhm.
It's kind of unrelated, but it's a question I just thought of. Do you still have guys who are playing for K State reach out to you and ask for advice or encouragement?
Yeah, we always chop it up, talk. A lot of those guys will do things earlier before the year starts, as far as when they're in training camp, when they're learning the basics or the introduction to the defense and stuff like that. But during the season, man, I know those guys are pretty busy like I am right now. So they're locked in, focused on what they have to do in their busy schedule all day. So not as much right now, but yeah, a lot of those guys reach out. So I've been talking to guys like Kobe before the season started, Dez, Daniel Green before he got injured, and then even guys on the offensive side, man. So many guys, but you can just basically say everyone that I played with that's still there during my time.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
With your time being there, what was your overall number one favorite moment?
Uh, it was a lot of them. I think probably just going out like we talked about earlier with that Texas bowl game championship that win. It was just good just to see all the hard work, understand where I came from, being a small school guy, and then having the opportunity to compete against the SEC team and just go out finally saying I won a bowl game. Like on the SES level, you don't really have bowl games. It's either
Mhm.
championship, make it all the way through, or nothing. And to finally get a ring, man, that meant a life. It felt really, really good. And then just do it in front of my family and friends. And with that senior class, like I talked about, and with a program like K State, yeah, that's probably my favorite moment.
I was in your I think it was Instagram live after the game. You guys were going nuts in the locker room.
Going nuts, man, because it's so funny. When you make it to bowl games, man, you get to be out there about a week early, week and a half, and you're doing all these competitive games against the other team. And LSU came in there a couple days before, just talking all this mess, doing all their dances. You know how LSU was. So just to go out there, us being quiet leading up to the game, and then just having a celebration, the time of our life after. And yeah, it was going nuts. It was fun.
So jumping back over to the Houston and then eventually the Texas game, Kansas State now has gone what 6 quarters with nobody scoring against us. It obviously speaks to Clanderman. What's your input on him?
Yeah, very smart. Um, very very smart. Uh, he would literally break down the whole offense and what they have done for 10 years. Literally, like he puts in so much work. He puts in so much preparation and time, and just you're not gonna play in his defense if you don't know your job and you don't know what you're doing. Uh, the way he preaches his principles as far as getting off on third down, creating turnovers, being disruptive, having quarterback sacks. I mean, it's something that you're seeing within the K State defense, and it honestly doesn't surprise me. And the crazy thing is, I think there's still another level that defense can reach, especially with those guys being young. Uh, man, Clenham's just done a great job, and I think he's finally getting comfortable within the Big 12 and knowing what teams like to do and what they're rooted on. And man, I'm just happy for him. One of my favorite coaches, one of my closest coaches, I still have keep a relationship with till this day. So yeah, man, he's a great guy.
Well, I mean, jumping forward to Texas now, I guess it'd be a good time to do a preview. Reggie, what do you think?
I think that we win. I'm just not being biased. I don't know how banged up Texas is. I know they're starting a redshirt freshman at quarterback, even though he's very talented. That can always be, you know, iffy. You never really know how those things can play out, but
Yes, sir.
I think we match up well, especially seeing how our O line played so dominant against Houston, whereas Houston played pretty close to Texas about a week ago. And I don't know, man. We look healthy. We look ready for that stretch in the Big 12 that usually happens. And I think K State gets the win probably by 14 points or more.
Whoo.
Yeah, yeah.
I like
I could
it.
see it. I think we're hitting our stride
I
at the
like
right
it.
time.
Yeah, I think we're really hitting our stride. I think Texas is honestly slowing down. Anytime you're going to the middle of the year with quarterback changes, that's literally a whole identity that you have to find again within your signal caller, and that's the most important position on the field. So with guys like Will and Avery, then you have multiple backs that can run the ball really well, and then we have these receivers that's finally finding their rhythm and what they excel at. Top of the special teams that we just know our university prides themselves on, and our defense playing as well as they are and as fast as they are, I think it's going to be really scary out there in Texas.
Reggie, take me
Man,
through when you're facing a young quarterback like this. Is it just as
Mm.
simple as we want to heat him up, we want to try to disguise looks, and just hope that he's making mistakes, or how would you approach it versus more of a veteran guy like Quinn Ewers?
Yeah, so it always depends on the type of quarterback. You know, is this the type of quarterback that's actually directing the offense, or is this coming from his OC? And that's
Mm,
the problem that can kind of get a little shaky and shifty when you're going against a guy like Steve Sarkisian. And he's a really, really good OC as far as calling plays. So I think it's more so understanding what Texas is going to give them instead of what that quarterback's going to do, and maybe where he's thinking that. You just want to play efficient. You want to make sure you're tackling, and the offensive line that Texas usually has year in and year out with their size. Just want to make sure, man, you're handling everything up front, playing your gaps, playing your run fits, and just getting them off on the field. You know, don't let their playmakers make explosive plays, and I think we're gonna do what we always been doing all year.
gotcha.
well, me, Caleb, Adam, are you going down to the game?
No, I got a fucking wedding.
Dude, weddings in fall are fucking nuts, dude. Like you said, Reggie, we've struggled with Texas and Oklahoma State. I wanted to mention earlier, dude, we've won one time in Stillwater since 2000. I don't know. It's just it's our kryptonite. And then Texas, like you said,
That's crazy.
dude, it's been what since 2016?
Against
Yeah, is that the
Texas,
last
yeah.
time we won? Dude, we're
Yeah.
so due. And you said too with the signal caller being the most important part of the field with Avery and his current ability and how we're using him. If they at any point get Will, if he has a bad drive or two, like the ability to put a true freshman at that point. And what do you think on that too? Like Avery's ability to go into um, a college football setting as a true freshman, with the game being so different from high school to college, his ability to jump that gap so quickly.
Yeah, especially to be playing it on a high level and playing Big 12 football. That speaks credit to who that kid is and his ability and his talent and what that program and coaches are doing for him. Uh, it's incredible to watch because you got to really think about, how are you processing information or how are you at 17, 18 years old. It's crazy. It's impressive. And if Will, I mean, I knock on wood, I wish it doesn't happen on nobody, does go down, Avery has to step up, I think he'll do it well. Obviously, there's always some growing pains that freshmen have to go through, but I think after that butch snap that he had last week against Houston, I don't think
Mm-hmm.
you see much bad play happening from him. I mean, he's been efficient. He has the arm. He could throw on his run, which is that's going to be scary at next level as he continues to get comfortable doing that. And man, just that whole team around him, I have no problem with him going in the game. Hmm.
I did want to ask though, because you named your favorite defensive player. Who would you say is your favorite to watch on offense?
This is a funny story. Probably DJ Giddens because he was my first locker mate. Like when I got to K State, it's crazy. We had the same, like we was right beside each other in the locker room. And it is very true what they say about DJ. He would not say probably like one or two words, but me and DJ used to have full conversations all the time. Like it's so funny. So I'm happy, man. I'm happy for his success. I seen it all along, man. He works so hard. Like if there is a hardest worker, it probably for me DJ Giddens because he's just it's crazy, man. He's different. He's a different athlete. So yeah, probably him on offense.
He
Is
doesn't
it is
even.
it true that the one way to get him actually talking is talk about fishing?
Probably. Uh, he didn't really talk too much about fishing. I mean, we was in right.
Okay.
We was in training camp. We was in training camp, so we was probably tired of gas and talking about how we was gonna recover or something like that, or how the day was. I don't know, but yeah, fishing. That's crazy. That's good for him.
Will Howard said that he doesn't want to talk about anything except fishing. He's like, if you want to get him to come out of his shell and actually talk, you got to get him talking about fishing. So
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Yeah, I'm not a fishing guy, so I probably never brought the conversation up to him. But
His
I believe it. I know DJ got something he likes to do.
he gets in front of a mic after the UCF game. 30 carries, 207 yards, 4 touchdowns, and they asked him how he felt, and he goes, "It's like catching." What did he say? So how big a catfish? It's like
He
catching.
said he compared the game he just had. He said, "I'd say that's like catching a 20-pound catfish."
That's DJ,
That's
man.
pretty
That's
good.
DJ, man. That's DJ. You gotta love it, man. He just puts his head down and works, and he just goes about his business. Checks in, checks out. I mean,
He's a sophomore and he'll put grown men on their asses and just get up and walk right back to the huddle. Like he doesn't shit talk or anything. He's such an interesting player to watch.
yeah, he reminds me a lot of when we played against Nevada, my year, Romeo Dobbs. Like those guys will probably be the best athletes on the field, make some crazy highlight plays, and just be so humble and just go back and just chill, ready for the next play. So yeah, DJ is cool.
Is that almost like more demoralizing as a defender, Reggie, where like a guy's like playing that well offensively and he's just a robot about it, just won't say anything? Like,
Yeah, especially when those guys are talented and they probably know your moves as a defender, like how you're gonna tackle them, what you're gonna do. It's just like, dude, you just made an 80-yard run, truck four people. And he's just easy breezy about it. You know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna do
right.
next? He's like, what's next? Like, you know what I mean? You got something up your sleeve. You got, how do you top that? It's crazy. Yeah. So yeah, probably definitely.
Adam and Caleb, Reggie gave his prediction. What are you guys thinking for the Texas game?
I think we win.
I need the truth.
I'm not sure how much by.
Yeah, I need the
Yeah,
truth.
yeah, man. I mean, I think we win. I think, like I said, I think we hit our stride. Texas has got some injuries at some pretty critical
Mm-hmm.
positions. It took us a lot. I wouldn't say it took us a bit to find our identity because K State's had that identity, but it's like when you have a guy like Deuce who is just so efficient, so productive, go to the NFL and everyone's going, oh well, K State's not going to be the same team without Deuce. And then you got guys like DJ and Trayshawn who step up and
Mm-hmm.
they're making plays too. And Will is, in my opinion, playing nearly at the same level he was last year. Like maybe he doesn't have those flashy plays, but the numbers are there,
Mm-hmm.
man. It took him a while, I guess, to find his confidence and figure out how this offense was going to work versus last year's offense. So I don't really have a score prediction. I think we win though. I'm pretty feeling pretty good about this one.
Yeah, I think we win a close one. I think the offense has really figured out some things with all the like these last couple of weeks, and I guess really in Lubbock as well. But basically, since Stillwater, Klein's just been running a lot of like pin and pull stuff, getting all the because I mean those are some athletes up front now.
Mm-hmm.
Our offensive line are some athletes, and getting them out on the perimeter, letting them be athletes, and having DJ and Trayshawn and both quarterbacks running well behind them, and
Yes.
Will's been taking what's been given to him. All that coupled with, I think there aren't a lot of defenses playing better in the entire country right now than we are. I just feel like we're catching them at a good time, and I think we sneak out a close one.
And I think the biggest X factor within K State's is the tight ends. Like
Oh
one
yeah,
through four, like the tight end play has just been efficient. They just been keeping drives alive. It's just the big plays, big guys, man. That just helps the blocking scheme too. So I think they play a big part in the game,
And like
dominated
you said,
or run away with this game.
with Ewers being out too, we don't know much about this backup, but Texas they recruit like hell, so I'm sure he definitely is talented.
Yes.
Well, boys, any closing thoughts?
I don't think so.
Not really. I
I just
just
wanted to say thanks for hopping on, Reggie. We really appreciate it. We're all huge fans of you, and it's awesome to see what you're doing in Canada. And best of luck in the playoffs, man.
I appreciate it.
November 16th is the award show for the CFL. Now, if y'all want to tune in, definitely would love to see sauceboss holding up that trophy, man. I'm super excited watching the playoffs, and good luck in the season going forward.
Hey, thank you, man. I really want to win this. K State players back to back with Dalton winning it last year, so hopefully we get that award and bigger thing. Hopefully I go to this Grey Cup championship and win it for y'all. So thank you, man. Thank you guys for having me.
Folks, little recruiting corner here. Two fantastic football commits. One doesn't really make much sense to me. Kind of came out of nowhere, and the other, Jaquez Bradley Demps, absolute stud flip from North Texas. Gentlemen, hype me up.
I'm stoked, man. I mean, I said earlier in one of our group messages, he's from Pflugerville. For anyone who doesn't know, that's a suburb of Austin. As we're well aware at this point, under recruited guys from Texas, and I wouldn't even say that he's necessarily under recruited, but maybe underrated guys from Texas have worked out very well for this team. We've already talked previously about needs for depth at wide receiver, guys who can produce all that sort of stuff. I mean, he had offers from Baylor, TCU, North Texas. I don't know, man. I
Boston
mean,
College,
it's
Virginia.
yeah,
It's not like he was like because you know how people are that he was committed to North Texas. Da, da, da. He had 4 P5 offers and stayed
Tulane as well.
Tulane and stayed committed to North Texas through all that. Went on a visit, was at the K State TCU game in Manhattan, and or no, Jaquez was at the Houston game, correct?
Yes, he's there.
Okay,
Yes,
so went was at the K State Houston game in Manhattan,
No,
and
no, 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 no. It was
he was at the TCU game.
yeah, October 20th.
That's what I thought.
My fault.
So he was at the TCU game. Had 4 Power 5 offers. Stayed committed to North Texas through all that. Went to one game at Bill Snyder Family Stadium and was a Wildcat the next week. So if anyone wants to tell you, oh well, he was committed to North Texas, well he's a 3-star. Well, he's an 87. He's a high 3. He's already 6'1", 195 pounds, which to give you some like perspective for like a K State perspective, Byron Pringle currently plays at 6'1", 203 pounds. So that's kind of the body type that he is right now. He ran a 10.91 100-meter dash last year as a junior. He runs track. And you look at his tape. I mean, I would not be shocked if this kid's playing right away.
That's
I would not be shocked if he
exactly
doesn't
what I
redshirt.
was gonna say, dude.
Because
Dude? He's got that 6'1", fucking 195 as a senior. I mean, like this is such a big
college ready body.
dude.
College
You
ready
said it
body.
too, Caleb, with that tweet. Like Middleton now having a recruiting cycle where he is eligible to cook. Did not getting in late. This is a fantastic start, man. And that
Yeah.
receiving room already has a ridiculous amount of young talent in it too, with Andre Davis and Jace Brown that we're seeing now. And you add in RJ Garcia and I
Spivey.
forgot Spivey, but I'm forgetting the absolute stud sophomore we just got.
Keegan Johnson.
Keegan Johnson.
Keegan Johnson.
Thank you.
Fair enough.
Like,
Fair enough to
dude,
forget him.
the young talent. Well, dude, with him, it's fucking sucks. Because now he's re-injured again.
Yeah, I just whatever. Maybe next year.
Dude, give it like I know this is going to sound a little fucked up. We've done so well without him having to be an impact player. I just feel like there's nothing wrong with being like, hey, let's just like maybe we can look at it for a bowl game, but just like get your body healthy, dude.
Yeah, I mean, and this is kind of getting off of the recruiting thing, but I mean, he got injured again in the Houston game, as it was reported by Derek Young, and didn't play at all really in the second half because of that. And no one asked Chris Kleiman about it after the game because that's just the expectation that Keegan Johnson isn't going to contribute anything, and it sucks because he is so damn talented. And I hope next year he can stay healthy, but I've just kind of punted on getting anything from him this year. But um, with that said, like you said, Eric, there's a lot of young underclassmen talent in that room right now, and adding this kid, Spradley Demps. I mean, his tape really impressed me. He's crisp route runner, really glides. He's not it looks like it kind of takes him a little bit to get up to top speed, but once he's there, he's running away from people. Hands catcher, doesn't let the ball get into his body. I absolutely love him. I honestly like uh outside Massey. I think he's my favorite recruits like film that I've watched in this whole class.
Before we get to obviously the bombshell that dropped a few hours ago, Kleiman has been Mr. Steal Your recruit recently. This is
Yeah.
the third flip, completing the trifecta of right. It was those three, right? That visited
Yeah. So
Boone Morris, Kalen, and
he.
Arda.
Yep. hmm
You know, Kalen Barta committed to Nebraska, so obviously a stud, right?
Yep.
You don't get a fucking scholarship to play in football at Nebraska. I know they're down right now. That doesn't mean they're not recruiting well, even when they're bad.
Yep.
And then Boone Morris, linebacker. Reading through, I'm not giving any paywall stuff here away, but it seems like all the writers are very high on this guy. Couldn't be more excited to see the class finally coming together. I know it was a slow start, but um, what do you guys think about those two flipping?
You know, end of the day, K State's a successful team. We've had good recent success. We just spoke with Reggie. We know that the coaching staff, the town, the fans are special. So sometimes all it takes is getting those guys here, and
I forget
it's just
who
the cards start to fall, man. I don't
someone
know.
said that though. It's like 80% of the battle for recruiting people to come play for Kansas State is getting them to Manhattan. Like
Yep.
when they come here, they love it. Because I'm telling you, as a K State fan, it's kind of hard, but like other people notice Kansas State's different as an environment. Like you would not expect this type of environment. Like how Oklahoma's the Palace on the Prairie. I've always thought that Bill Snyder Stadium's more like that. Like you don't expect it to be like that as an outside looking in. It seems to always come from the recruits that come and visit too. They're like, holy shit, that was nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
No, go
sorry,
ahead,
go
Adam.
ahead. Well, I was just gonna say, I mean, I don't want to derail it too much, but I mean, we've now got our second crystal ball for Patrick Gongba, and I mean, one of the things that he said about Manhattan was that he kind of likes that there's not a ton of outside distractions. You can really just focus in on playing ball, and
Fucking love that.
he was at the game this weekend in the student section doing the Wabash, smiling along with the student section. So
That's what you want, man.
I
He's
don't know. I
focused
mean,
on
it's just
NBA. He's focused on the next step. He's not here to fuck around.
Eric, you just cut out really bad.
Oh, my bad, dude. I'll fix it. Don't worry.
No,
But
you're good.
I said like that's the type of shit you want to hear from a recruit. Like no outside
Yeah.
distractions. Like, dude, get in here, work, win a bunch of shit, and go to the NBA and get your bag. Like, that there seems to be
Don't need any
sometimes,
outside distractions like Tubbies.
sometimes there's a problem with players that have a clear goal to the NBA. So I'm glad that he is showing good signs on that.
Just real quick, I guess if I don't know if we want to even touch that or not, but just real quick on Kalen Barta and Boone Morris. So Kalen Barta really impresses me. His ball skills on both sides of the ball. He's playing receiver and some safety and corner for Seaman, the Vikings. Uh, he that's some legit competition he's playing there. I mean, Seaman's playing like Piper, where the BB brothers went to school. They're playing, Speak of Hayden,
Hayden,
Rule.
Shawnee
Yep.
Heights.
So
Yep.
he's playing some legit competition. You watch his highlights. He looks like the best athlete out there in space. Good size, 6'2". He could probably put on a little bit of weight at 180. I bet he probably ends up playing around 210, 205, something like that. But his nose for the football, and he's not afraid to come hit people too. So I'm really excited to see him in that safety room with Clanderman. And Boone Morris. I don't understand why this kid is only an 84. I don't understand why he's a 3-star because I watch him play, and this dude is everywhere. His pinned tweet right now as of 3 days ago, so he's a senior. Um, and he's a 3-year starter, I believe. I don't even think he started as a freshman at his high school, but the guy's got 434 career tackles right now, and he's still got some season left. So
By the way, high schoolers will generally only play like a 7 or 8 game regular
yeah,
season.
I mean, he's like, you look at like he'll post like his highlights every week. He'll be like, had a good game this week, 19 tackles, 4 for a loss. Like
21 sacks.
yeah, I mean, he's everywhere. Sideline to sideline, has great range, great closing speed, not afraid to hit you. And I got to give credit because I don't want to just steal this from Ace, but Ace Edwards on Aggieville Alley Cat said he's just basically Austin Romaine too, and that's so true. Like he's incredibly smart, sideline to sideline. He's got great range. He finishes tackles, so I'm very very excited about him too. And yeah, man, we're hitting our stride. This class is coming together. So
You know, 6'2", 225 as a senior playing linebacker is fucking insane.
he's got great size, man. Yeah, he's gonna be a stud. And that's another guy too that had some other again because people will say, well, he was committed to UTSA.
Army,
Well,
Air Force,
yeah, he had.
Navy,
I think he had an offer from Oklahoma
Baylor.
State late. Yeah. So he had an offer from Oklahoma State. So like it's not like because people say well he was committed to UTSA. Well, he had other P5s come asking around if he wanted to decommit, and he stayed committed until he watched one game in Manhattan, and then 2 days later he was a Wildcat. So I think this staff deserves some flowers, and I think we deserve some flowers. I think the fans deserve some flowers because kids see that environment and they think, you know what, I can see myself here. So
I'm gonna
Yeah, I don't know, man.
go ahead, Adam.
I was just gonna say. I mean, blah blah blah. Committed to this, committed to that. Dude, Byron Pringle played at Butler. Okay, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. Like Butler Community College, by the way,
Yep.
like great JUCO program. I mean, Kansas is without a doubt the best JUCO scene in the entire country. But
Last chance
like,
you, baby. Independence.
Deuce Vaughn and
yeah, I don't know.
Deuce Vaughn and Felix's only Power Five offers were K State. I think that staff might have an eye for talent, fellas. I think it'll be okay.
I literally can't even like the last like 3-star that we got that just doesn't work out entirely. Like shit, we've had less luck with 4-stars with Rubley. Like we
Yeah,
develop talent so well, man. And like if you were to show me a picture of a recruiting profile, like rankings wise, a kid that's gonna kill it at Kansas State, it would be Boone Morris.
yeah. He
84, not ranked nationally, 92nd or 148th is his position. He'll be an all conference player by his junior year.
I don't know, man. At the end of the day, the Mobcast was right. Jar is getting really damn full really fast.
And I guess, do we want to talk about this kid? I'm gonna butcher his name. I'm so sorry.
Navarro.
Yeah, I was waiting
Yeah.
that for it to be our dessert, man.
Shunky or Shunk?
I think maybe Shunky.
Shunky. I'm just
How
gonna call
about
him Navarro for
I'm gonna-
now.
let's talk
It's a
about
pretty
how we
badass
just
name.
got a fucking 4-star preferred walk on.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine having this poll? Most can't. Let me just read you guys some offers here. Like legit offers, like scholarship offers. Arizona State, Auburn, Illinois, KU, Nebraska, Pitt, Tennessee, Minnesota, and
You like
he
that?
walked on at K State.
The kicker, word on the street. We believe he's on full ride scholarship, or will be on full ride scholarship, because he is Native American, which you might think, oh, well, we got to lock him down with a scholarship slot. No, that's okay. I think we'll have one extra scholarship slot because this guy's a walk on and has college paid for already. Thank you.
That's chestnut checkers from Connor Riley and Chris
Fucking
Kleiman.
insane that we just
Just
got the
unbelievable.
18th best interior offensive lineman, the best player in South Dakota, and he's fucking walking on. Like, I know it's a loophole, but holy shit, dude. Oh my goodness.
I think it says a lot about how
Well,
bad he wanted to play for Connor Riley that he was willing to go about it this way too.
You know what game? If you're tuning in this last weekend and you're like, huh, who's this Cooper Beebe guy? I want to play for the guy that coached him because this guy's a first round draft pick and he just put a grown man on his ass consistently. Like Cooper Beebe is having, I know he gave up that sack, but like, dude, he is so good. It's ridiculous. And
Cooper, people's parents are
oh my
watching.
That was such a
goodness.
good call, dude. He
No, and then he goes, what did he said something after that was funny as shit too. He was like, oh,
I
you
know he said he
feel
sent a
bad
guy
for the
into Mexico.
guy. He's
yeah.
like, he's having a
Yeah.
rough series.
A man that large should not be able to move the way he does. And then he goes viral for flattening a guy. He's about to be an interior offensive lineman that's going to be a first round pick, which is damn near unheard of. And then he gets on Twitter in a Nacho Libre costume and just tweets out Nacho with the picture of him, and then like he's the best dude. Gotta
And
love that guy.
in addition to that, like that, I was listening to a guy do a scouting report on him, and he was like, with Cooper, the cons are his size and his mobility is, that usually ends up costing players because they're not able to stand up against the biggest guys in the NFL. But if you look at him, he is literally in the past 2 years never had a problem dealing with any player in their power. He's always been the most powerful guy. So like at what point are you like, dude, he is an archetype of like both. He's just a freak. He moves so like he's so agile and like his ability to get out and lay someone on their ass every time he'll get downfield and his speed is ridiculous too.
Yeah, he's a physical anomaly. I mean, a man that weighs 335 pounds should not be able to move like that. And I'm not just talking his speed, like his footwork, everything. Like he's a legitimate athlete. He's a special guy, and we only got I hope 6 more games, but you know 5 maybe 6 more games with Coop. So really enjoy him while he's still here.
And this is kind of another thing. You watch, from the Colin Klein, right? We have a player that is amazing at a position, followed by Jake Waters. So there's always something to be said about a specific player at a position attracting great players in recruiting. So when you have Cooper Beebe balling out, offensive linemen are going to take notice and be like, damn, I that's obviously a place for good offensive linemen to go. And then, you're going to see that with Avery, and Avery's going to make the wide receivers look better. And, success breeds success. And I think this is kind of going from that Big 12 championship forward. We're pulling 4 stars consistently now. 2 back-to-back cycles of multiple 4 stars. When did that shit happen before?
Yeah, and not only are you 100% correct that it didn't really happen before, not in a while, anyways. Caden Massey and Navarro both 4-star offensive tackles, but then you also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys. Sorry, bad podcasting. I'm reading off the commitment list, but you got that many more guys that are within 2 points of being a 4-star. So like even as many 3-stars as that make up our classes usually. Even those guys are high 3-stars. Yeah, I'm really really happy. We all knew that this class wasn't going to be big just from the sheer fact that we don't have a lot of scholarships available, but this class, it's really shaping up nicely. I'm very pleased.
Yeah, my favorite part about this whole process that we've seen to go forward is, like you said earlier, with the ability of our past. Like we went the JUCO route and stuff like that, and it seems just like we're finally going forward to the correct, like we're going to the high schools and we're getting kids in Texas, like Jaquez is deep in Texas, and uh, Matt, we're killing it in Kansas, but Blake Barnett just broke Christian McCaffrey's record. Colorado, we're going down there. Rakers is from Iowa. We're high up on Grant Bricks. He's from Iowa. So, we're really expanding our recruiting profile, and it's really nice to see.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's exactly what you said earlier, Eric. I mean, you hit it on the head that success breeds success. You keep winning, you recruit better. You recruit better, you keep winning.
Well, boys, we might even do a emergency pod on after Pat does his announcement. I'm praying to God. I do really think we get him, but dude, what a big get that'll be if we can pull that off.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the 2024 Kansas State basketball season. 2024-2025, that is, as in next year.
Well, boys, I don't. I prefer not to speak. I anyone that's made it this far, I just really hope. Uh, all I'm gonna say is I hope that it's not as bad as we think. I don't really know what else to say. So
Yeah, so I guess just I'll read the statement.
fuck, man.
Where are we at here? All right. Senior Naquan Tomlin has been indefinitely suspended from Kansas State men's basketball team, as announced by head coach Jerome Tang on Monday night. I have indefinitely suspended Naquan Tomlin for not living up to the expectations we require of our players. Although he is not with the team, he is part of our family, and we will do what we can to support him as he moves through this process. Now, all we know and all that's really been reported is that he was arrested shortly before 2 a.m. in Tubby's for disorderly conduct and fighting. That's all that's been reported, and that he was released on a $750 bond. Just based on that statement, Tang saying he's no longer with the team and we're going to help him through this process, that kind of stuff does not sound great to me. And I don't know what the extent of his suspension is going to end up being, but it goes without saying that this is not the same basketball team without Naquan Tomlin. So it could be a rough year. I don't know.
I don't. I mean, you're a kid and you make stupid decisions, but fuck, man, like you have a clear shot to the NBA, and it really. I mean, the year looks a lot fucking worse now. He is an integral part of the team that we were all hoping was going to make big strides going forward, and fuck.
I'm hoping for the best that maybe at some point we see him this year, but just the way that that's worded, I mean, Tang saying although he is no longer with the team,
Yeah.
we want to help him through this process. I mean, that just it doesn't sound good to me, And
Yeah, help him through this process is probably the worst thing I wanted to hear.
I mean, yeah. Adam, what are your thoughts?
Man, I mean, when I first saw indefinite suspension, it was probably a little bit of cope, that sort of thing, where I was like, okay, well, indefinite doesn't necessarily mean permanent. It doesn't mean he's kicked off the team, whatever. The wording of that statement, I feel like, no pun intended, is kind of its own indictment. I don't know, man. It's gonna suck. My only hope is that some of the other guys can step up. It's a major hit when you have a guy who gets in some trouble, regardless of what sport it is. But in a sport where the rosters are so much smaller than football, and every individual has like a serious opportunity to be a big impact player. I guess on one hand that's nice because there's always a possibility we could have one of our other guys step up and be that impact player, but just on a purely percentage thing, that's one less roster spot that we have, at least for now. So
I hope he gets it figured out, man. Like I don't have any ill will on him, but it really fucking blows because I don't know if anyone is denying this, but Kansas State is a much less talented team without Naquan Tomlin. He is a very well built basketball body, height, speed, and like when he puts it together, he puts it together. So this sucks. This really sucks. He was gonna be a senior, big part of the team. Projected, wasn't he part of like an honorable mention for the? I mean, people are picking him to fucking compete for a Big 12, all Big 12 spot.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. I'd rather be right than first, so I don't really want to speculate. We don't know exactly what happened in the bar fight. But just the way that that's worded, Tang's statement, it just doesn't sound good. And I don't know, man. I just, like I said, I don't want to jump the gun, but like I'll be really, really disappointed if I had to sit through 30 how many ever games of watching Naquan Tomlin trying to figure out how to play organized basketball for this. If it's as bad as what we perceive it to potentially be, that would really, really suck. But yeah, like I said, I don't want to. We don't want to jump the gun on anything. Wait for what happened to come out and save that for a future podcast. I think so.
Yeah, I'd say probably ended on that.
Alrighty.
yeah.
Well, good day of recruiting overall. Here's to whooping Texas's ass and getting a 5-star in the same day.
There we go. Let's hope.
All right, guys. Thank y'all for listening. We love all of you. Go Cats.
Go Cats, baby.
Respect Will Howard. I told you. Respect Will Howard.